Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. First of all, welcome Mr. Mustafa Gil from Turkey. I know you're very tired. You arrived last night. Mr. Zairil, CEO of Penang Institute, my best friend, and also Professor Azmi Sharom from Law Faculty of UM, who will be the host for an event on Monday. If you're not aware, we'll be having a discussion on roundtable discussion on this issue about Islamism and democracy, lessons from Turkey. You know, like basically everybody is talking about what's happening in Turkey, yeah? With the fiasco at the Taksim Square and so on and so forth. So we'll discuss about this issue and this the economic philosophy of Turkey itself. But now, what is more important is for us to discuss about freedom of conscience. I'm happy that, when I arrived, I was expecting their placards with people from Perkasa, waiting in front. But luckily, we are quite safe. And this is not a topic being discussed freely in this country. So it's good that we're going to discuss this topic, and we hope to get input from all of you during the question and answer session. And I think the way that, Jakim and Jais, Zarel has been mentioning, they were trying to control the mindset of how people think in our country, especially the Muslims. You have to think of a certain way, and you have to believe in a certain way, right? So this is a real problem. Probably I'm not sure whether you are aware or unaware of the situation in this country, but this is basically the major problem of our society. I would say that going back to freedom of conscience was basically based on, many verses in the Quran. But I would like to cite just one single verse that to me gave the notion of a free conscience. It was none other than from Surah Al-Isra, verse 36, which says that La taqfu ma laysa laka bihi ilmun inna sam'a wal basara wal fu'ada kullu ulaika anhu mas'ula. La taqfu, do not follow ma laysa laka bihi ilmun, something that you do not possess knowledge of. Inna sam'a, your hearing, wal basara, your sight, wal fuada, and your heart will be accounted for. Ulaika nahu mas'ula, will be accounted for individually. Means that every single thing that God will ask us based on our conscience. So it is not that God will ask Jakim or some authority, some royal authority whom they consider themselves as defender of faith. But we have to be answerable to God individually, each of us, on what we believe. And that is the basis of freedom of conscience. Right? So the problem of why we are facing today has been highlighted mainly in the book by our brother Mustafa Gil, Islam without extremism, without extremes. Islam without extremes. When he mentioned that the problem with Islamic civilization, it was at a downturn after the defeat of the people of reason to the people of tradition. And that is the problem that we are facing nowadays. Hundreds of years. Now these people of tradition whom they'll call themselves as Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah were the victors, right? And they dictate that this is the way that we have to follow. We have to follow back not only to the Quran, which the people of reason adhere to, but also to what is known as the prophetic tradition, which is debatable. So while Al-Quran is what we call in Islamic fiqh as al-qat'i, means that something which is clear and concise, whereas tradition is zonni, means something which is ambiguous, right? But nowadays, when people talk even about modern concepts such as democracy, such as peaceful demonstration, we will hear some people, some scholars will say that, can you find some prophetic tradition that says that, people during the time of prophet had performed or had basically gone out to the street to demonstrate? So meaning to say that there was no utilization of faculty of reason anymore. Everything is back to the literal translation of the prophetic tradition, or what is known as Sunnah. And as you know that there are some Sunnah or some Hadith which are authentic and some are not. And the problem nowadays that there is a problem in differentiating between the two. Some might be authentic in terms of sanad, in terms of the transmission, but might not be authentic in terms of the substance, or what we call as matan. So this is a problem that we're facing. And I think this discussion is very important, because if you look at the the Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations, freedom of conscience was stated clearly, especially in Article 2 and Article 11. Article 11 was more specific to freedom of conscience. Article 18 was more specific to freedom of conscience. Article 11 is the Malaysian Constitution. Sorry. Article 18, right? Azmi, you're smiling. So Article 18. And some people said that it is un-Islamic because Article 18 says that you have the right to convert to whichever religion you believe in. If you were to read many books, and in fact the simplest would be a very long article by Professor Mohsen Kadiva, who came to Penang and to KL. Yeah? We invited, both of us invited him. He wrote an article about Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United Nations Universal Declaration, and he concluded in the last paragraph of his article that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights of the United Nations is in consonant with Islam. There's nothing against the spirit of Islam in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So I think without prolonging, I think we are here because we want to hear from Mustafa Akil especially, and of course the learned Azmi Sharum. So I think I'll give the mic to you, Mustafa Akil. Thank you.